Get out my business. Nani? Okay.
Hey, how you guys doing? My name's Heero. That's Eric. We are the amalgamation of the Identity Booth. You can find him at AT Facts. You can find me at the_identity_booth. And we are going to be talking about some somber stuff today. Sorry to bring this stuff to you guys, but we have to talk about it in order for us to really understand and break this down. And this video breakdown right here for us is going to take us to some places. But the story we're going to be talking about today is going to be talking about a lieutenant in the army, actively in the military right now. And his name is he is the second lieutenant Caron Nazario. How do you say that, Eric?
Caron Nazario.
Caron Nazario. And this story right here has so many weird layers to it, but I just want to ask a question, Eric.
Yeah.
When Colin Kaepernick took a knee, they said they were disrespecting the troops, right?
Yes, they did.
Now, a troop is being disrespected. Have you heard anybody talking about, yo, where's all the hate and outreach for this? Have you heard anything about that crowd of people who were after Colin Kaepernick saying, wow, can't believe they treated this lieutenant like this?
Nope, not a word.
Something that bothers me.
Support the troops.
Support the troops. Something that bothers me in this situation is what happens when Blue Lives Matters versus support the troops. Like, what happens in this situation? I find it strange that me and you, Eric, are covering this story. I haven't seen it on conservative talk radio yet.
What? Why are you surprised? I mean,
I thought they support the troops.
Yeah. Shout out to Twitch. Shout out to Kyra. It was never about the troops. That's exactly.
Oh,
That's the real issue.
That shit hurt. That truth.
When I see things like this, and again, shout out to Sis Nafi. I got a special place in my heart for troops and veterans. They get subjected to things that we can't even imagine for a bunch of rich people's personal endeavors. I got so much respect for a person who goes and submits themselves to the government. I really love the troops. I honestly do. I love the troops. So whenever I see stuff, I don't care what color your skin is. When you put the fatigues on, to me, you're the same. And to watch this kind of subjugation to a bunch of emotionally and psychologically unstable human beings is just atrocious to me. I'm sick of seeing it.
I'm gonna
shout out to all my troops.
Me and Eric are gonna take you down this rabbit hole because I want to show you how intimidating this is, and I want you to know that this is currently 44 seconds into the video. We're not gonna watch this whole video, but it goes for about 9 minutes. He is currently handcuffed. And I want to ask you something. I'm going to ask you something, Eric, in the middle of this video. But he's handcuffed. He's been pepper sprayed 3 times. And he's now being taken care of and having some things like taken care of with him. But we're going to just start this, and we're going to start off and we're going to go until we can get to the 52 seconds. So let's just hear this out.
No tags displayed. I see it, but per the law, it has to be in the license plate bracket. I understand it's paper and I understand why it's there.
Yes.
But
okay. And just real quick, he tells a lie right off the bat. He says that your license plates have to be on the brackets below displayed. This is false. Here's the statute 46.2-715. Display of license plates just says there needs to be one visible in the front and back of the car, front and rear. So the officer, the person who's supposed to know the law, doesn't know the law. And he's actively lying to someone he accused of breaking a law that doesn't exist. So this is just, and I don't know if people know what happened here. Basically, he was turning down a dark highway, and it was pitch dark. It's one of those highways where there's not any lamps or anything like that. And an officer follows him for about a second or two. Then, 3 miles into, like a few minutes into it, he lights him. And 1.5 miles, they follow him. Now, Eric, if an officer hit their lights on you in the middle of a dark highway, what you doing?
I'm putting my hazards on. I'm reducing my speed at least 20 miles below the speed limit, and I'm going to drive till I get to a well-lit area. I'm going to, on my way, I'm calling 911 dispatch. Hey, I got an officer behind me. It's really dark out here. There's no lights. I don't know if this is actually an officer or not. So I'm just driving to a lit area, and I will comply with whatever the police want me to do when I get there.
And this is not something that you should be doing as a black person, a woman, a man. This is just period. Dealing with the police, period. Don't take no chances with your life. You feel me? So we're going to push forward in this.
At that time, I had no idea. I didn't know that you had a vehicle registration until I approached your car. And at that
point, when he realized that there was a fucking, the moment he saw the tags, that should have been the end of the escalation. The weapons should have been holstered, and you should have just simply said, we stopped you for a traffic citation, and continued from there. But for them to admit something is wrong is to admit that they're incompetent, that they're unable to do their job effectively. It's sad that we have officers who can't acknowledge their own mistakes while committing a crime, a civil rights crime at that. They maced this dude without knowing who's in the car. It could have been a kid in the car, could have been anybody in the car. Let's push forward.
At that point, I was too busy dealing with you to deal with the tag. You want me to wipe your eyes?
Imagine that he's wiping his eyes because he can't do it.
All this was going to be was, hey man, I stopped you. You didn't have a tag. You got your driver's license. I'd have ran you, and you'd have been on your way. Okay? What would have been a 2-minute traffic stop turned into all this.
All right, and let's just stop right there. What turned into a 2-minute traffic stop turned into this. Look at how he is degrading this man he just assaulted. It's your fault that you didn't see the tags. They were properly displayed, and you maced him. You see how they pushed the blame on him? Hey, I was just doing my job. This is your fault. And he has to comply and shake his head like, yeah, you're absolutely right, officer. It's your fault because I'm handcuffed. I'm a prisoner right now. He's innocent of a crime, but they have yet to unhandcuff him.
As I was telling him, I've pulled over to well-lit areas before, and I've never looked out the window and saw guns blazing immediately.
So the reason we did that is because we followed you for 1.5 miles with lights and sirens on, and you didn't pull over. I understand you want to get to a well-lit area, I get that. But when we follow you that long, look at the climate.
And immediately right there, let's just take that whole segment right there. He just told him, yo, I normally go to a well-lit area because obviously that's common sense and nobody should ever subjugate themselves to a situation of putting themselves in danger with that situation. No. Let me finish this idea right here. And then immediately after telling the officer, hey, look, this is why I did this. The officer says, well, that's cool. You did that. But what about my feelings? What about me?
That's exactly the point I was finna make, bro.
Me?
He got pissy with this dude because the cop was felt inconvenienced for 1.5 miles. The incompetence, the entitlement. I don't know, bro.
It's like you really want to think it's a joke. You're like you can't be serious. You're asking me to empathize with you, but you don't want to empathize with me.
After you pulled a gun, you maced me and arrested me and embarrassed me out here in the goddamn parking lot of this BP.
And notice this. This isn't a conversation happening, behind closed doors. The officers can protect his identity, put him in a vehicle, and have this conversation. They have him out on open display. And I talked about this in my past videos, how officers like to put their prisoners on display so that they gain the public's trust. Because if you're driving by, you see someone in handcuffs, I guess he did something wrong. But if you knew what was really going on, you don't feel empathy for this person anymore. So then when you later on see the photograph on the news, you're like, yeah, there goes that bad guy. Because he had the handcuffs out in public. Like, let's just go.
Don't want to hurt me. That's not what it's about. What it's about is making sure that everybody goes home at the end of the day. So when you don't stop and you continue to proceed, our suspicions are raised. What's going on in the car? What don't he want us to see? So you pull into here, and if you would have just complied with the simple commands that we were giving you originally, it would have been done and over with. And you would have got back on your car and you'd be gone by now. But you wouldn't get out the car. You wouldn't comply.
And clearly that's just all bullshit because we're going to watch the early half of this, but I just really want people to understand how fucking annoying this is. Like how annoying this guy is and just the condescending tone that he has with him and just his idea that he did nothing wrong here. He did nothing wrong. Let's push a little bit forward.
It's just looking out the mirror and seeing your guns out already. That's what I was asking, like, what's going on? I was just,
and not to mention you have
just
and just that overwhelming, like, oh, like you could just see it in his face that he's not able to handle himself like in this situation, like because he's handcuffed. He's literally handcuffed, so he doesn't even feel the need to fight because what's his words gonna do? He can't even walk away from this situation right now. And to his point, he brings up the fact that he had a firearm on him. But guess what? In the state of Virginia, open carry's a thing, man. As an officer, you should expect every single person to have a gun.
Policing 101.
So when you're telling a black person who has his hands outside the car to reach back in, every person is going to think about any one of the victims. Pick your poison. Philando Castile is the one that comes to mind immediately.
Yeah, I'm not doing it. I'm not doing it.
No.
I had a conversation with somebody yesterday about this situation. Obviously, they do not look like me. Former military. They haven't seen the video. I saw the video. I recount the story to them, and it was just like, yeah, the guy has both of his hands out of the car. They walk up, they mace him. They tell him to get out of the car. How is he supposed to get out of the car? He has both hands. They mace him. He's reaching back into the car to unbuckle his seatbelt. They're going to shoot him. They're going to shoot him.
Like
more, maybe not 100% of the time, but let's just say 8 times out of 10, they're probably going to shoot him. If you're already macing him, already asking him if he wants to ride the lightning, and then you got both of your weapons drawn and fixed on his person, I'm not making any sudden movements.
No,
just not gonna do it.
And let's take a look at how we got here, right? Before we go back to that video, I just want to play this out, and I'm just gonna call some things out. And when I hear the things, I'm just gonna stop it.
What's going on? You're fixing to ride the lightning, son.
Okay, right here, just off top. He says, you're fixing to ride the lightning, son. The racial connotations and the bullshit that comes with that. Anyone who's seen The Green Mile knows exactly where that line is from, and it's right before the main character is goes in for his execution with old Sparky riding the lightning, the electric chair. That's like, can you imagine? Like, what part of your vernacular would let you say that to a black person? Let's go.
Get out of the car now! Get out of the car now! Get out of the car!
Sir, just get out the car.
We say that in the ED too, bro.
Well, yes,
Work with us and
that's
we'll talk
also
to you.
inappropriate.
Get out the car.
You received an order. Obey it.
Also, we're giving you an order. Obey it. This is not how your constitutional rights. This is not how your civil rights or the Constitution, your rights work at all. You have to be given probable cause by an officer to be given any instructions. As long as you're not impeding or hindering a life-saving act or you're not an act of committing a crime. But guess what? He's asked them several times what is going on, and they have said nothing. And he's going to state very clearly that you are being detained for when you're being detained in a traffic stop in the state of Virginia. You do not have to exit the vehicle unless they are telling you are being arrested, and he makes sure to say he's not being arrested. He's saying you're being detained. So why do you need him to leave the vehicle for a traffic citation? It's amazing to see how they even incriminate themselves by trying to enforce the laws.
Because police officers can lie to you. It is in,
Yeah,
it is
you
in
should
their
be.
job
Get out.
description. It is in the statutes. They do not have to tell you the truth. They can say whatever they need to say or do to get you to incriminate yourself.
It's
So
crazy
shut up.
because the guy says, "I'm honestly afraid to do anything," and the officer's first response is, "You should be. Get out of the car." Like, they don't care about you. They are both prepared to shoot him if he makes any sudden movement.
Hold on. Can since we got this freeze frame right there, look at the officer on the screen. He's not even looking at Mr. Nazario. He's looking at the other officer. He does not have a firm grip on his pistol. His left hand grip, which should be the firmer of the two, he does not have his thumb up high on the next to the slide, which means he has probably no intent to shoot this guy. And he's looking at the other officer in a puzzled way. If he really thought this situation was going to get escalated, he would have had both hands up, both thumbs pointed down the barrel of the pistol, and he would be ready for action. He's not ready for action because he probably has some mixed feelings about the situation.
Because he
doesn't excuse him from not de-escalating.
Exactly.
But still.
Oh, Eric, that's such a great point. This guy has the potential to be the first good cop I ever saw. But because of their code and their antics, he won't step up and do the right thing. He has the potential to do the right thing, and you see him try to do the right thing, but he sticks to the code. And that's why, homeboy, I got your name written down somewhere here. Oh, Daniel Crocker. Daniel Crocker, you got to go too, bro. But don't worry, we gonna figure out why. Hold on. Here we go.
Get out!
Get out the car.
Get out
I
now!
have not committed any crime.
You're being stopped for a traffic violation. You're not cooperating at this point right now. You're under arrest
For
for.
traffic.
You're being detained.
Okay,
You're being
and
detained
right
for-
there, that's perfect. You're being arrested, you're being detained. He doesn't even fucking know anymore. He's just so gun happy that he doesn't want to have a conversation. Look at the other officer. He's already dropped his hand down. He doesn't feel the need to, he literally told this officer everything he needed to know, and the officer responded, "You're not under arrest." And the officer immediately thought to himself, then why are we asking him to? It's crazy. It's crazy. But we're going to stop here, right? Yep. And we're going to go back to the last part of this, the early part of the video. Because at 4:10, just remember the energy that officer had at first, right? He came up, said, "You're going to ride the lightning. You should be terrified of me. You should have all this energy." He is now had a conversation with his superior and explained to him that you fucked up, that you're wrong, that you've violated his civil rights and his due process. And let's just look at his energy. And keep in mind, even though he has the same energy, he has a different energy, he still wants to feel like he's in charge. Let's see how.
Today, and I'd have been moving on with mine. But here we are.
How's your eyes doing, Lieutenant?
Better.
And I keep calling you Lieutenant. I told you I'm a veteran. I respect rank. Okay, I was a corporal in the Marine Corps. I respect rank. However, I do have a job to do. Okay, I just talked about Chief of Police. You asked for a superior. He's off obviously right now. It's Saturday. I called him. He came out.
First of all, you're an officer 24 hours a day, 7 days a week. You're never off. Second of all, the fucking balls of that superior for not coming out here and outright just making everyone in the situation apologize to him. Notice in this situation, none of the officers apologized to him. Notice this. Eric, has there ever been a time where an officer let you go without giving you a ticket because they were in the wrong and didn't apologize?
Nope.
I can say no to this because every time I got stopped, I always got a ticket.
Never got an apology, and I've had some. I'm gonna tell y'all a story about me. Maybe not today. Maybe at the end of all this. and how bogus this stuff is. It's gonna anger y'all, but
Let's push forward,
it's
then.
two situations that have happened to me personally. But yeah,
Talk. Here's how that's what I was thinking. I told him what I wanted to do. He said, that's no problem. 2 ways we can handle this. We can either sit here with you until you get your eyes back where you can see, and I mean at a good distance, you're safe to drive, okay? And you're going down the road. Go do your deployment. Go continue serving my country, which I respect.
All right, right here. Go do your thing. Go do your deployment and go continue serving my country. He doesn't think he shares this country with us. This guy doesn't believe that this man is equal across from him. You want to know why I can say this? Because we are now 4 minutes into this 9-minute video, and they've been standing there for a total of 40 minutes. For the last 40 minutes, he's still handcuffed. Could you imagine the bullshit of that? You are a service member, and you're in handcuffs, and this guy who arrested you and threw mace in your face just said, continue serving my country. What benefit of serving this country is it to you?
Your point, bro, let me say something here. If you guys remember in the video, there's an ambulance that pulls up. Why couldn't you have had one officer sit in the ambulance with him, uncuff him, and had this conversation? You could have. That would have been the smart thing to do. Again, I'm not expecting these people to make good decisions.
But
every time I see
can I
something
put you
like
on a
this,
secret?
my confidence grows smaller and smaller in their cognitive abilities.
Can I give you a secret why, Eric? Can I give you a secret why they didn't let him go in the ambulance? Because if he went in the ambulance, guess what? That's going to generate a report. That's going to cause some payment. And if this story comes back full circle, guess who has to pay for it? Guess who has to come out of pocket? The city, the state. But this is true. This statement is true, and you'll figure out why. Now listen to the explanation this guy gives us.
Can I thank you for, okay? Or we can push the issue, write you tickets for no license plate displayed, and for obstructive justice.
And 2 things here. We've already determined via this code that he did not break any law. So because he didn't break any law, he can't obstruct justice. There was nothing to obstruct because there was no law being broken. There was no investigation to take part. When they showed up, they saw that he had the tags. That should have been the end of it. They should have simply said, "We're sorry, sir. Sorry for stopping you. It was a miscommunication on our part. Have a nice day." That should have been the end of it. But their ego wouldn't allow it.
And here's another thing I want to point out to the people. The cop is talking, and Mr. Nazario says little to nothing. He doesn't say, "I'm sorry," from what I heard. He clearly says, "But I had plates, though." We got body cam footage. We got camera footage from the squad car to show that he actually did have his plates. His trunk is filled to the brim. It looks like he's moving or something. Like, what? I don't get this. It's Virginia. You know how many people I see that look like this guy in Virginia walking around? The state of Virginia. Okay, listen, I lived in Norfolk, Virginia Beach. Shout out Hampton Road, 757 Shark City. I lived there. It is a military town. Langley. Okay, y'all, Quantico, CIA headquarters, FBI headquarters, all in Virginia. Port of Norfolk is where all the cruise ships, not cruise ships, yeah, cruise ships too, but all the destroyers port in Norfolk. I'm just saying, like, it is a huge military town, mostly Navy and Army servicemen there. It is not uncommon to see somebody like this walking around. It is a badge of honor to see people like this walking around. You know how many people I seen telling dudes that look like this, "Hey, thank you for your service. Hey, thank you for your service." It's normal in that part of the USA. And for you to do this to your quote unquote brethren, your fellow servicemen, not even apologize, not put your ego aside because you were inconvenienced. I mean, you weren't doing anything. Obviously, you stopped this guy. You're just rolling around anyway. The gall of these people.
I don't even
And
go
now
that
you
route
don't have a job.
because
You
that
don't have a
route makes it
pension, and you're old, so you look like you were well on your way. What are you gonna do now? I hope you're 100% disabled from the military. Because how you gonna eat now, bro? Hopefully you can get a job in one of these small departments. I'm just saying.
Hopefully that gas station behind you will hire you. But let's push on with this video then.
The Army get involved, and I know how they are. You don't know this. The Army, he'll vouch for it.
And this is him like mansplaining.
He's been in,
right
and he's
now.
got friends that are legal officers. I know. The military is the only place where
it's crazy.
The military is the only place where double jeopardy exists legally. Because whenever we do to him, the Army can turn around and jam him for the same thing. I don't want to see that happen.
And why is he? Why do you feel the need to explain this? Like, this is all unnecessary. Just shut up. Why are you worried about the Army? Shut up and let him go.
You're obviously a second lieutenant. You ain't been in very long. If you plan on making a career or even 6 years or whatever, it's up to you. I don't care. There's no need getting this on your record. I don't want your record. However, it's entirely up to you. If you want to fight it and argue, I mean, and I don't mean that disrespectfully, okay? I mean, you have that right as a citizen. If that's what you want, we'll charge you, have you go to court, notify the command, do all that.
Yeah, because ultimately he's just basically saying, hey, you can do what you want because we didn't get to kill you, so please don't report us. Please don't report us. It's crazy. It's so crazy that he thought he was going to get away with this.
Yeah, well, he didn't. I'm glad.
No, absolutely not. And he was fired on Monday. And the last thing I just want to point out is he was finally uncuffed at 9 minutes and 3 seconds.
Into this video, we don't know how long the stop was. It was over 40 minutes.
So I just want everyone to just realize something. Like, as we push forward and we try and make sense of like all these situations, understand we've had two stories now. First one was a person who, through a chain of miscommunication and the lack of just human decency and understanding of your own job, someone died. Someone in an American uniform can still be assaulted. Like, the only other thing I think he could have done to avoid this is probably sing the national anthem.
Nah. If it was Jesus of Nazareth in that car, he would have been subjected to the exact same thing. Throw that
Well,
out there.
Jesus was anyway.
Yeah,
I mean, Jesus was anyway.
That's true.
But for what it's worth, I mean, that's our perspective on it. That's our feelings on it. That's our opinions on it. Obviously, we'll see what's going on. He just got a free paycheck. He might not have to finish his tour because he's getting paid from here on out. And it's just crazy because the taxpayers of Virginia are going to have to pay for this. I hope that Daniel dude gets fired. And ultimately, like, the one thing I just want to leave with this is you can't be right if the police say you're wrong. All you have to do is try and get the fuck home. What do you want to do? Go home or go to the funeral house? Pick a poison. Because even if they send you to jail, they can still kill you. Ask Sandra Bland. Ask Freddie Gray. There's a long list of people, man. But Eric, where we at? What we doing, man?
Hey, man, we right here on YouTube. Y'all want this smoke, this hot fire like Dylan. Y'all need to pull up right here on this YouTube. Shout out to Twitch gang coming through. Shout out to Facebook. I know we got a bunch of people thugging it out with us on Facebook, man. Make sure you hit that sub button. Make sure you hit that like button, thumbs up, wherever platform you're watching on. Make sure you give us a follow, a sub, turn the notifications on, get all these notifications when we pulling up on the live video feed. Then go down in the description. Hit that run, sign up. We got Endurance 24 Challenge, 24 miles, 24 hours, raising 20 bands. Let's just go ahead and call it 24 miles, 24 hours, 24 bands. How about that? Run it up for the young ones. We trying to send some kids to college, giving out some scholarships. Shout out Altenburg Russo, TF North High School. What up? Can't wait till we do the live with them on May 7th, man. Got the link tree. Go ahead and hit that. We on all platforms at the Identity Booth, where you can find Heero Solo at Wakanda's First Hero, or me at ET Facts. We like Visa. We everywhere you need to be.
You guys take care of yourself. Put on your goddamn mask. Make it home, man. That's all that really matters. Because if y'all don't come back, then we don't got nobody to watch this, and that's gonna be really sad. It's gonna be really sad. All right.
But it's so hard to find through the daily grind. Been working overtime, and I'm sleep deprived. shorty on my line and we fuss and fight. Seems like every night. Don't care who's wrong or right. I hope the end is sight. Slow it down and we can catch the vibes.